Sometimes pain doesn't scream, it doesn't shatter glass or start arguments. Sometimes it just sits quietly in your chest and waits for you to notice it. My younger sister, Alina, was getting married. I didn't hear it from her. I didn't hear it from my mother. I found out from Instagram. There it was. A picture of her hand covered in henna. A diamond ring sparkling under soft yellow lights. The caption read, "She said yes." My heart skipped. For a moment I smiled. My little sister was getting married, but as I kept scrolling, something began to feel strange. There were pictures of family gatherings, my cousins sitting around her, my aunts feeding her sweets, my mother standing behind her, smiling proudly. Everyone looked involved. Everyone looked included, except me. I waited, I told myself. She's busy. Wedding houses are chaotic. She called tonight. She did in single quotes T. The next day our family WhatsApp group name changed. From Family Forever to Alina's wedding celebrations. Messages flooded in. Outfit discussions. Venue options. Dance practice videos. Guest lists. I stared at the screen like I was watching someone else's life unfold. No one tagged me. No one asked if I was coming. No one said API, "What are you wearing?" I decided to call my mother. Assalamu alaikum, Ami. I saw the news. Alina's wedding. There was a pause on the other end, a pause that felt too long. Yes, Beta. Just pray for her. Just pray for her. That wasn't how mothers sounded when their daughters were getting married. When should I come? I asked casually. Another pause. We'll see. We'll see. I hung up. But something inside me didn't sit right that night. I opened my wardrobe. I touched the green dress I had saved for a special occasion. Maybe I would wear that for the Mendi, or maybe the maroon one for the wedding. Then I stopped. Why was I planning outfits when no one had invited me? 2 days later, my aunt called. "Make sure you don't come late to the Mendi." Relief washed over me. Double quotes. "Oh good," I laughed lightly. "When are you sending my invitation card?" She laughed too. "Oh sweetheart, you don't need a card. Your family. That sentence sounds beautiful, until you realize sometimes it means everyone else gets formal respect. Except you. That evening my cousin Hira posted a story. She was in Alina's room, showing off the wedding decorations. Fairy lights draped across white curtains. Pink roses arranged on the bed. Exactly how Alina had dreamed of it since she was 16. I smiled. Then I zoomed in on the dressing table. There was a stack of wedding invitation cards each. Envelope had a name written in gold ink. Calafupo Cousins. I zoomed further. I searched carefully. My name wasn't there. I told myself. I was overthinking. Maybe. Mine was separate. Maybe. Mine was special. Maybe they would give it to me in person. Maybe. A quiet fear began to grow. That night I texted Alina directly. "Congratulations, my love. I'm so happy for you," she replied. "Thank you." Just that no heart. emoji. No excitement. "No, I can't wait to see you." I swallowed and typed again. "When should I come?" Message seen. No reply. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. An hour. Nothing. I stared at the ceiling that night, unable to sleep. What did I do? Memories flooded my mind. We used to share the same bed as children. If I had a fever, she would sit beside me and stroke my hair. When I got my first job, I bought her a phone before buying anything for myself. When Abu lost his job, I quietly paid her college tuition. I never told anyone. She was my little sister, my responsibility, my pride. So what changed? A week before the wedding, a message appeared in the family group. Important. Only close members will attend the Neka ceremony. Only close members. I stared at the words. Was I not close? That night, I called my mother again. "Ami, please tell me honestly. Am I invited?" Her voice was heavy. "You're mature, Beta. Some things are better understood quietly." My throat went dry. "Does she not want me there?" Silence. Then softly. "For now, don't come home. Don't come home. The house where I grew up. The house where I sacrificed my dreams. The house where I thought I belonged." I ended the call, and for the first time in my life, I felt like a stranger in my own family. But what hurt the most wasn't the silence. It was not knowing why, and I had no idea that the reason my sister didn't want me at her wedding was connected to something from my past. Something I thought I had buried. Something that was about to break my heart all over again. I told myself I wouldn't cry. I told myself I was strong. After all, I was the older sister. The responsible one? The one who always handled things quietly. But that night, I broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just silently. The way women often do. 3 days passed after my mother told me not to come home. 3 days of silence, no calls, no explanations, no API, please understand. Just wedding pictures appearing online like little reminders that life was moving forward. Without me then, something happened that changed everything. It was late evening. I had just made tea and was sitting alone in my apartment when my phone rang. It was Amy. I hesitated before answering. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum as. Beta. Her voice sounded tired. I called by mistake. Before I could respond, I heard another voice in the background. Alina. She didn't know the call had connected. Amy, did you talk to her? My heart froze. Amy whispered. The phone is not on speaker, but it was. Alina's voice came through clearly. I told you, if she comes to my wedding, I won't get married. My fingers tightened around the phone. The room felt smaller. What are you saying? Amy sounded stressed. She's your sister. She's the reason I'm in this situation. My breathing stopped. Reason? What situation? Amy tried to calm her. Beta, lower your voice. No, I've stayed quiet for years. I won't stay quiet now. Years. What had been happening for years? I wanted to hang up. I wanted to pretend. I hadn't heard it, but I couldn't move. Alina continued. She thinks she sacrificed for me. She thinks she's some hero. But she doesn't even know what she did. My chest tightened. What did I do? Amy's voice trembled. You're misunderstanding things. No, Amy, Alina said, her voice breaking. You hid the truth from her. And for me, there was silence. A thick, heavy silence. Then Amy said something that made my blood run cold. Some truths were never meant to come out. The call disconnected. I sat there in the dark. My tea had gone cold. My hands were shaking for years. A hidden truth? Something I did. Memories began rushing back 4 years ago. There was a proposal, a good family. Their son's name was Samir. Educated, well-settled, respectable. Everyone was excited. Everyone except me. I remember telling Amy I wasn't interested. I remember her insisting I at least meet him. I remember one conversation. One strange conversation. We had met at a family dinner. Samir barely looked at me at the time. I thought he was shy now, thinking back. He looked uncomfortable, distracted. His eyes kept wandering not toward me, but toward Alina. I brushed it off back then. Why would I even suspect something like that? After the meeting, I told Amy I wasn't interested. She didn't argue. In fact, she looked relieved. At the time, I thought she respected my decision. Now, I wasn't so sure. The next day, I called my cousin Hira. I didn't tell her everything. I just asked casually, how are the wedding preparations? She hesitated. Everything's fine, Hira. Does Alina not want me there? Long pause. API. Please don't put me in the middle. My stomach dropped. So it's true, she sighed. There's just history. Double quotes. History. What history? With who? I asked. She didn't answer directly, but she didn't need to. API. Do you remember Samir? The room went silent. My heartbeat became loud in my ears. Yes, he's the groom. For a second I couldn't process it. Samir, as in the Samir whose proposal came for me. Yes, my hands went cold, but I rejected it. Yes, she said softly. You rejected it. There was something in her tone. Something unfinished. What are you not telling me? Another silence. Then she whispered, API. The proposal was never really for you. The world didn't spin. It didn't crash. It just shifted. What do you mean? My voice sounded far away. Hira swallowed. Samir liked Alina from the beginning. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. But why did they come to my house for me? Because Ebu would never have agreed if they came directly for her. You were the older one. It had to look proper. Proper. Respectable. Traditional. So I was just a formality. No, Hira said quickly. It was complicated. Complicated. That word again. And Alina knew. I asked. She knew he liked her. My mind replayed everything, the way Samir avoided eye contact, the way Alina stayed unusually quiet during that dinner. The way Amy didn't push when I rejected him. Slowly. Painfully. Pieces started fitting together. Why didn't anyone tell me? I whispered, because you would have been hurt. And now, what was this? That night, I didn't sleep at all. Was this why she didn't want me at the wedding? Did she think I still had feelings for him? Or worse, did she think I had tried to take something that was hers? The thought broke something inside me. I never wanted him. I walked away without a second thought for her. And now, she saw me as a threat, or an enemy, or a reminder. But the real question was still unanswered. What situation was she in? And what truth had been hidden from both of us? Because I had a feeling. The story wasn't over, and whatever came next was going to hurt even more. That night, after I found out Samir was the groom, I didn't cry immediately. I just sat there, staring at the wall, thinking about how strange life can be. 4 years ago, a proposal came for me. 4 years later, he was marrying my sister, and somehow, I was the problem. The next morning, I couldn't stay silent anymore. I called Amy. She answered on the third ring. Her voice already sounded cautious. Assalamu alaikum, Why didn't you tell me? I asked immediately. Silence. I know about Samir, I continued. I heard her sharp inhale. Who told you? It doesn't matter. Is it true? Did he always like Alina? Another silence. Then, very softly. Yes. The word landed like a stone in my chest, so I was just a cover. No, she said quickly. It wasn't like that then. What was it like, Amy? Her voice began to tremble. His family came formally for you because you were the older one. But he had already spoken to Alina before that. My head started spinning. Spoken. How? They met at a university event. They started talking. Nothing serious at first. Nothing serious. That's how every serious thing begins. So why didn't you tell me? I whispered, because your father would never have agreed. He believed in order. The older daughter marries first. And what about what I believed? I asked. There was no answer. Memories from that dinner replayed in my mind. Samir barely looking at me. Alina unusually quiet. Am I avoiding my eyes? It all made sense now except for one thing. If he liked Alina, why didn't they just wait? Why bring a proposal for me at all? Amy's voice broke. Because his family was pressuring him. They wanted to move quickly. And your father would have said no if they asked directly for Alina, so they thought, once things moved forward, the truth would adjust itself. The truth would adjust itself. I almost laughed. Truth doesn't adjust. It waits, and then it explodes. Did Alina want me to reject him? I asked slowly. Another pause. She was confused, Amy said carefully. Did she want me to reject him? Yes. The word felt like betrayal, so she let me sit there like a fool. Knowing he wasn't interested in me, she didn't want to hurt you. I closed my eyes, but she did. 4 years ago, after that dinner, I told Amy I wasn't interested. I remember her relief. I remember her saying, "You're doing the right thing." At that time, I thought she meant for me. Now I realized she meant for Alina. The next month, I heard that Samir's family had sent a proposal again. This time, for Alina. Everything moved quietly after that. I didn't question it. I didn't connect the dots. I trusted my family, so why does she not want me at the wedding? I asked finally. Amy's breathing grew heavier because she thinks you don't know. No, what? She thinks you believe he once liked you. The room went quiet. I felt something twist painfully inside me, so she thinks I'll feel humiliated. She thinks seeing you there will remind him, and everyone else, of how things started. How things started. So my presence was a reminder of the lie, a reminder of the manipulation, a reminder that the story didn't begin cleanly, Amy. Did she ever think about how this looks from my side? I asked. She was afraid. Afraid of what? That you might tell people the truth? The truth? I almost smiled through the pain. The truth that I never even knew. Suddenly something Alina had said on that accidental phone call came back to me. She's the reason I'm in this situation. What situation? This wasn't just about embarrassment. There was something more. Amy. Is everything okay between them? Long silence. Too long. Beta. Every marriage has challenges. That's not what I asked. Her voice lowered. Samir's family didn't know about how things started. My heart dropped. You mean, they don't know he first came with a proposal for me? No. The room felt suffocating. And Alina thinks if I attend, someone might talk. Yes, I leaned back in my chair. So, that was it. My existence was dangerous. My presence was a risk. I wasn't uninvited because I did something wrong. I was uninvited because I knew something. Or at least, because they thought I did, but there was still something bothering me on the phone that night. Alina had said, she doesn't even know what she did. What did that mean? Amy, what else are you not telling me? I've told you everything. No, you haven't. Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable silence then. In a voice barely above a whisper, she said, there was one more thing. My fingers tightened around the phone. What? After you rejected Samir, he tried to talk to you. I frowned. I don't remember that. He called the house. You weren't home, so he asked about you. My stomach dropped. Why? He wanted to know if you were really not interested, or if you were pressured. The air left my lungs. And what did you tell him? I told him you were in love with someone else. I stood up so suddenly my chair fell behind me. You what? I had to protect Alina's future. So you lied about me? My voice shook. Yes. You told him I loved someone else? Yes. I couldn't breathe in one sentence. My mother had rewritten my entire past. Now it made sense why Samir never reached out, why things moved so smoothly. Afterward, why Alina believed I walked away easily. They had built a story and I was never asked if I wanted to be part of it. Now I understood. Something terrifying. Alina didn't just fear embarrassment. She feared something else. If I showed up, If Samir looked at me, if even one old memory surfaced, the foundation of her marriage might crack, and she wasn't willing to risk that. Not even for her sister, but deep inside. One question still burned. If she truly believed I loved someone else, why was she so threatened by my presence? Unless there was something she wasn't telling anyone, and I had a feeling the real reason she didn't want me at that wedding had nothing to do with the past. It had everything to do with the present. After I found out that Samir had originally liked Alina, and that the first proposal was just a formality because I was the older sister, I thought that was the whole truth. I was wrong because that truth hurt, but the real reason hurt even more. For days after that phone call, I couldn't stop thinking about one sentence Alina had said. She doesn't even know what she did. What did I do? I had rejected the proposal. I had stepped aside. I had never questioned anything. So what exactly was my crime? Finally, 2 days before the wedding, I decided I couldn't live in confusion anymore. I went to my parents' house. No invitation, no warning when I walked in. The house went silent. Relatives stared at me, like I had entered somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, and then I saw Alina standing near the staircase dressed in a simple yellow outfit for her Mendy preparations. For a second, her eyes widened. Not with happiness, what fear. "You shouldn't be here," she said quietly. That sentence cut deeper than shouting ever could. "I deserve to know why," I replied calmly. Everyone slowly left the room. It was just the two of us, two sisters, who once shared secrets under blankets at night, now standing like strangers. "Why didn't you invite me?" I asked. She didn't look at me. "You know why?" "No," I said firmly. "I don't." She finally turned toward me. "Because everything started with you." My chest tightened. I rejected him. "Yes," she said. "But you were the first choice?" "The first choice?" I felt something twist inside me. I was never the first choice. "He liked you." Her eyes filled with tears. "But the world doesn't know that." And there it was. Image.respect, narrative.double quotes in everyone's mind. She continued. "He first came for you, and then married me, and—" I asked softly, "And do you know how that feels?" Her voice cracked. "It feels like I got what my older sister didn't want." I stared at her. "That's not true." "But that's how people think," she whispered. I realized then, she wasn't angry, she was insecure. But then she said something that completely changed everything. "After you rejected him, he asked about you." I froze. "What do you mean?" "He asked Amy if you were forced to say no. He wanted to be sure you were okay." My heart skipped. "I never knew that." "Exactly," she said, tears falling now. "You never knew." "But I did." Silence filled the room. "You were never interested in him," she continued. "But he respected you. He admired how confident you were, how clear you were." I felt my throat close. "Alina, I spent years wondering," she said, "if he would have chosen you if things were different." That was it. That was the real wound. Not the proposal, not the lie, not the family. Pressure.comparison. She had loved him, but she had always compared herself to me. And in her mind, I was always winning. "I have always lived in your shadow," she whispered. That sentence broke me more than anything else. "Shadow," I said in disbelief. "Alina, I paid your university fees when Abu lost his job. I stayed single because I didn't want to leave you alone in that house. I protected you, and that's exactly the problem," she cried. "You were always the strong one, the sacrificing one, the responsible one. Everyone praised you." Her voice shook. "I just wanted something that felt like mine, something that wasn't handed down from you." I felt tears finally fall down my cheeks. I never wanted him. "I know that now," she said softly, "but fear doesn't listen to logic." She looked at me, vulnerable and small, not like a bride, but like the little sister who used to hold my hand while crossing the road. "I was scared that if you came to the wedding, he would look at you differently, or someone would mention the old proposal, or I would feel small again." I stepped closer. "And so you chose to remove me." She nodded. Double quotes. "Yes." The room felt heavy. Years of silence stood between us. "Do you love him?" I asked gently. She nodded. "Yes." "Then trust that love," I said. "Trust that he chose you. Not by accident. Not by pressure. But by choice." She started crying harder. "I'm sorry, API." That word API. That word API. It sounded like childhood again. "I didn't want to hurt you," she said. "I just didn't want to feel insecure on the most important day of my life." I wiped my tears. "Sometimes," I said softly, "we hurt the people who love us most, because we are afraid of losing something." She held my hand. "Will you come to the wedding?" That question carried everything. Pride, pain, healing. I looked at her carefully, not as competition, not as the bride, but as my little sister, and in that moment I understood something this was never about Samir. It was about two sisters growing up in comparison. One labeled strong, one labeled sensitive, one praised. One protected, and somewhere along the way, love turned into quiet rivalry on her wedding day. I stood in the back during the nikah. No one made announcements. No one discussed the past. Samir looked at her with certainty, not confusion, not regret, certainty. And in that moment, I finally felt peace because I realized something powerful. I was never unwanted. I was never replaced. I was simply the elder sister in a family that didn't know how to handle emotions. Honestly, months later, Alina called me one evening. Marriage had softened her fears. I was wrong, she said quietly. No, I replied. You were human. There was silence. Then she whispered, you were never my shadow. I just didn't know how to stand beside you in that. Healed something inside me, sometimes the strongest. Daughter becomes the easiest one to sacrifice. Sometimes silence creates misunderstandings that grow for years, and sometimes the real reason someone pushes you away is not hatred, it's insecurity and fear and love they don't know how to express.